My name is David Steele, and I am Chief Viral Officer of Sneeze.it. We are a digital marketing firm that focuses on customer acquisition. It's a small subset of digital marketing, but our goal is to help organizations achieve more customers using digital marketing. We started off 6 years ago as a tiny little office with probably 4 employees in one location in New Jersey, to a new 3,000 square foot office in New Jersey with about, I would say, close to 20 employees here, an office in Saudi Arabia of all places, and we're building out a practice in South America at this moment. We're a global company because we service companies all over the world that have a need of new customers.
It sounds like you've had fairly rapid growth. How quickly have you grown?
Last year, we doubled in size. This year, we're on track to more than double in size, and next year we will double this year in size.
So what have some of the challenges been?
From a organizational standpoint, keeping people on the right page with knowing exactly what to do is probably the biggest challenge. And not only that, but we have to manage employees all over the world, so it becomes an issue sometimes.
How have you been making sure employees do what they need to do? I mean, obviously we're interviewing you today because you're a Touchstone user. Can you tell me how Touchstone has helped with your growth?
I don't think we could have grown without Touchstone. One of our pillars of our core values is innovation through process improvement. And prior to that, it was just, I do it this way, and I'm going to kind of improve it here, and nobody would know what was done, and another employee would do it a different way, and it became a real mess. So Touchstone is pivotal to that for us, and the reason for it is, number one, employees can log in and see exactly what they're supposed to do. They can look at what procedures need to be done to accomplish a given task, and no matter where they are in the world, they can accomplish that task exactly like another person in the organization. When it comes time to improving on a process, which is an important part of what we do, is somebody will look at a process and then say, I think I can do it better if we just added this one step here, and once it's agreed upon, it's published out, and everybody gets notified of this new improvement and now has a new work plan per se.
Talk to me a little bit about how you first got hooked on Touchstone, and then what happened after that, and then follow that with how have the employees adopted it? How is this working in the business? But could we start with how you got started? What was the impetus that got you focused on systemizing things?
We had a speaker out in a group I belonged to that was talking about reducing the amount of hours that he spends in his business and allows him to have more free time. And that's every entrepreneur's dream, right? Is free time to pursue the things that they earn their money to do, right? And so at first I saw it, I kind of said, that's not really for us, and kind of pushed it aside. And then, somebody else said something, and somebody else said something, and eventually I said, what? There might be something to this Touchstone product, and we reached out to see what it was going to be like. Well, that was the easy step, was getting it, right? The second part is getting people to use it. So we spent, I would say, Michael, I think it's got to be about a year and a half, just trying to systemize, and then we kind of threw everything out and did it again, and we kept doing it over and over again because the bottom line is we did not get employee buy-in. Even though we thought we did and the employees said they were, we checked and it really wasn't the case. Until we actually found some champions within the organization to champion actually putting this Touchstone into place and getting processes documented and improved upon, it was hard. But now it's part of our conversation, our daily conversation is, Touchstone. And, did you look at Touchstone? Did you check out the job description? We're hiring somebody. What are they going to do? Let's look at the organizational chart. I mean, it's all part of what we do now. It's built into our organization.
What would you advise a new user? One of the things that was, I think, unique about you is that you didn't give up. And I'm curious to know why you didn't, and what advice you would give to a new Touchstone user who's got this grand idea of systemizing their business and they want to get it done right away. How do they stick with it?
Well, first off, nothing is going to happen right away. It takes time. I mean, we all want it yesterday. I wanted it yesterday. But, sometimes your organization is just not ready for it. Now, I want to say is the reason why I stuck with it is probably because I'm a little pig-headed, but also because my fallback during stressful situations and when things go wrong is, what did that process look like? When you think like that, you have to have a place where it's documented and looked at. And And so that's why I stuck with it. I knew the end would be worth it, right? The end would justify the means of putting up with people saying, no, this is dumb. Why do I have to document my process? I mean, that's all the things we heard of. Employees hated it because they thought they were being replaced. Where in reality it's making our employees better.
How did you get them to think that way?
It was conversation over conversation. I mean, it was just a long process, but it was convincing them over time that they needed to do this. I mean, there was no other way to say it except for eventually, through hard will, my will is stronger than their will, they got it done.
What I saw in your company, you communicated with your staff. You engaged your staff in the process. You worked with them instead of making them do something. And you led the charge. And I think that's important for an entrepreneur to know. This is something that comes from the top down. You communicated with your team and you were committed to this.
If you want your business to grow, if you really want your business to grow, and I'm not saying like a little bit, but if you really want to be successful, you're going to have to document your process. It's not an easy task, but you're not going to be able to achieve the growth you want unless you do it, bottom line. And I have no regrets that I put everybody through a little bit of hell to get it done, but it was well worth it at the end.
Thank you, David. I appreciate you taking the time to meet with me. Let's end by just telling our listeners how they can get in touch with you about improving their marketing.
You can always email me at D like in David, STEEL, @Sneeze.it, or you go to our website, www.Sneeze.it.
And do you want to give a phone number too?
You can dial the 800 number, which is 800-304-1150. But at the end of the day, the best way to get in touch with us is electronic because that's the life we live. That's the world we live in.
Okay, great. Thank you, David. Really appreciate you taking the time with me today.
Always a pleasure. Thank you. And again, I can't stress enough. Thank you, Michael. You helped us to achieve the things that we always thought were possible. So.
Thank you.